Hello everyone, this is CauthonLuck here for Root Gaming and our YouTube channel. I'm bringing you a few games that we have here that have been recommended to me by some of the members of Root Gaming. This first one is CauthonLuck versus Whiteraw, and this should be a really good matchup. These two played a lot of games, and they sent me two of the games that they said were really good. These were practice games, so do take that into account. There was nothing on the line here. They were playing, possibly trying new things, but, trying to win at the same time because top players tend to be rather competitive. So we do have CauthonLuck as the red Terran down here at 6 o'clock, and Whiteraw as the teal Protoss at the top. We did ask Whiteraw before we started casting these, so before you worry about that sort of a thing, we wanted to make sure, and usually we will check before we do that. We don't want our YouTube channel to be name bashing or anything of the like, so I have told people to send me replays. Besides just them winning amazingly every time, we want to see good replays, we want to see good games, and that sort of thing. I'm not sure how well my encouragement worked out here, so we're just going to have to watch this game and see what happens. Like I said, I do have another game with these two to follow up after this one. So we do have at least two games between these two. And Whiteraw and CauthonLuck are both starting off pretty standard. CauthonLuck's wall is a little bit interesting. Looks like he's going to finish off with the tech lab and another supply depot. I haven't quite seen a wall like this before. I've seen similar ones, but this is just a different variation on the same concept. So we do see the orbital command center coming in for CauthonLuck, while Whiteraw is, getting some zealots. He's probably going to get out a single zealot while his cybernetics core is on the way. He hasn't actually built a cyber core yet. Never mind. And he's probably going to want to get some stalkers out to help defend any sort of a possible marauder push. There has been a popular trend in TVP that's been referred to recently as the CauthonLuck build. CauthonLuck, he's a very creative player. He comes up with these strategies, and then a lot of other people tend to take them and try and make them better. So even though CauthonLuck doesn't do so well in tournaments at times, he's a good player. He comes up with stuff. He's influential, and so I think it's important to not underestimate him. The CauthonLuck build generally consists of sending an SCV, one Marine, two Marauders, and a Reaper to the front door of the Protoss player, and what you do is the Marine and Marauders with this concussive shell are able to do quite a bit of damage, and the Reaper jumps up and down this cliff here to get vision up the cliff without him having to be aggressive and trying to push up the ramp and giving his opponent an advantage. So it's a very interesting strategy, and I've seen him and other Terrans using it quite a bit recently. And if you've been wondering why Terrans have been doing it, you're looking at the reason. CauthonLuck sort of started this thing. Here we go. There's the two Marauders, the Marine. Might bring the SCV, it's not always included. But the Reaper is on the way, so he is going to be heading out and going to be pressuring Whiteraw pretty soon. And we look back at his base, he's got a second gateway on the way. No sign of warp gate tech yet, actually, which is rather surprising, which makes me believe he's probably going to be saving that gas for something like a starport or a robotics facility really quickly. There's the robo facility, but he didn't really need to be saving that 50-50. I'm curious why he doesn't have warp gates on the way. That might become clear as we move on. And as you see here, the Marauders normally are in a bad position there, but the Reaper comes in from behind, gives some nice vision up the cliff, and oh, he doesn't get away this time. Usually he can just barely get away, but he does take out a Stalker and a Zealot. He's probably going to get forced back, and very successful defense there by Whiteraw. It's still kind of unexpected to people if they're not used to seeing that. It's becoming much more popular recently. So if you're a Protoss player, you should be preparing for that sort of an attack by Terrans. It's becoming kind of standard as an opener. We do see that CauthonLuck is up to 4 barracks now. I would expect him to just start pumping a lot of Marines, get the combat shield and stim, and you're going to go for a mainly Marine composition with a few Marauders mixed in. Early on in the game, before his opponent can really get to too many Storms or Colossus, it's an extremely powerful composition. You're able to be very aggressive with it, and I've seen a lot of Terrans been able to do some very impressive things with this build. I know recently LZ Gamer was up against, I think it was Paramore, and interesting to note, CauthonLuck has 2 SCVs on this gas. It's a little bit of an oops moment, but what happened with Paramore was that he got storms out against like the pure Marine army of LZ Gamer. It was just Marines with combat shields and stin, and there were a lot of them. He had a ton of reactors, and I thought he was going to be in trouble, but he didn't have enough storms because LZ Gamer was still able to just keep pumping Marines to keep the pressure up, and Paramore couldn't keep up with warping in storms fast enough. Once they get enough storms out in the field and they can keep casting and casting and casting, or they get Colossus out, then the Marine composition becomes much, much weaker. But until then, you really have to be careful of these Marine rushes because they can be so devastatingly powerful. You can see that he's getting +1 weapons upgrade while the combat shields are being researched. It looks like he's trying to catch this observer with his Marines, maybe saving up for a scan to try and kill it, because he's been sort of positioning around under that observer. Actually, he's going to try and build some missile turrets and try and catch it, it looks like. I would not be surprised to see more barracks soon. There are 2 tech labs, actually. Those are, oh, and he blinks up into CauthonLuck's main. This is very strange for the Protoss player to be being so aggressive at this point, and that's why he was so worried about that observer. He does come in with these stim Marines. Combat shield isn't done yet, but they just do so much damage. White Raw's trying to do some blink micro, but it's not quite working out for him, bringing up more units from the ramp. Oh, great blink micro. He is sort of turning the tide now, but he's down to only 4 stalkers with these 2 marauders. This is a very, very close fight. It does look like the stalkers are barely going to come out ahead. That nicely placed proxy pylon does allow him to warp up the cliff, as you can see. Hey, CauthonLuck has to pull SCVs, and the problem with that placement is now he's able to kill that pylon with this Marauder, so that is going to back off the aggression here. That was a nice attack by White Raw, somewhat unexpected at that point, because usually when the Terran is going for so many Marines this early, it gives them an edge. It does seem like his plan was to try and get in there before CauthonLuck's bio count got out of control, but CauthonLuck's +1 weapons upgrade finished partway through that. So did combat shields. If you'd been able to get there a little bit earlier, I think that would have been a bit more successful. But either way, it was a very, very nice attack, barely defended by CauthonLuck. Oh, and he carelessly loses that observer. He's not going to be able to blink up after that. And he does rebuild his pylon farther away so he can keep warping in. It does mean he'll have to blink up the cliff if he wants to be aggressive, which is a little bit dangerous because then you're not able to retreat until that blink comes off a cooldown.